for joining us for another episode at A+ Master Tutoring Center. My name is Denise Mastro and I'm the director, and today we're going to speak with Daryl Shells and Brianna Shells for some important conversation that will revolve around differences between Milwaukee education and Chicago education.
I enjoy coming to A+. I must say that when I started, I did see a change in my grades. I went from a 2.5 to a 3.0.
So you were at other centers? What other centers were you at?
Yes, I was at Sylvan. The experience, it was sort of, the teachers, they would give me the same assignments to do over and over again, and I guess they didn't really know that I was paying attention and stuff, so I would always confront them and say, well, you had me do this assignment last time, I want to move on to something new. And then they were like, oh, well, this is what's in your book. And then they apologized, yeah, but then they would still want me to do that same assignment. And I'm thinking, why keep me back? Why hold me back when I can move on?
Most people don't realize, as I explained to your father when he first came to me, is that Sylvan, Huntington, these are franchises that are literally purchased at franchise fairs like hot dog stands, right, Daryl?
Yeah.
And you don't need to be an educator to own a Sylvan or a Huntington. Whereas at A+ here, I'm the director, I'm the owner, I'm the founder, and I'm also an educator that really cares about education. Do you think it helps to learn and be in a learning environment when you're with people that really, really sincerely care about your best interest?
Yes.
And you didn't feel that from Sylvan?
No, because when I was at Sylvan, I was there with a lot of children, so therefore it's like they were just playing and stuff, so it's like I was the only one that was trying. Compared to when I come here, I see people around my age group and I see them trying and wanting to learn, so therefore their energy, it comes to me and it makes me want to do my best as well.
One of the things that I noticed about with Brianna was in Milwaukee for most of her childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she would come back and forth here, she would let me know about her grades and things, and say she's doing well. And I'm looking at her grades and think, okay, she's getting her some A's and some B's in there. So I had no concern. So when I was looking at it, her grades, when she was coming in, she was having difficulty just keeping up the pace, and I was trying to find out what was going on. And as her grades came in, I noticed that her grades were a lot different than they were in Milwaukee. So it's like a deception going on here. So it made me wonder what is really going on here. So I spoke that to my older daughters, and they were saying, well, Dad, she's really struggling here. She's trying to get it, but she's just not getting it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when we wanted to reach out and try to find some other means to kind of boost her up and her morale too, because it was kind of really bringing her down.
Right.
Because she couldn't keep up the pace and making her think there's something wrong with her.
Right. So for $50 an hour, almost $1 a minute, and they're not letting her move forward.
Right.
Do you think that was by design to keep her maybe at the center
longer? I tell you,
center?
I had my feelings about it.
I remember when you first came, and you really weren't sure if you wanted to be here or not, and you said, well, those tables are small. Do you remember, Daryl?
Yeah.
And you said, I don't think I'm going to have enough room. And I said, well, that's how we work, so that we're right near you if you need any help.
Yeah, I remember specifically that did happen.
And I chuckled,
walked in. Yeah, you did. I walked in and I looked, I said, I like this. See, because the idea of it being small, you can't go anywhere. She can't go anywhere. Right. You can see what each other is doing here.
I have to see what she's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. But anywhere you walk in this room, you see him. And
right.
I love the quaintness about it. So I said, this is going to be the spot here.
Let's talk about grade inflation and grades a little bit more, because there's so much that needs to be said today. Parents are really kept in the dark. It's so hard to just survive today. We have mothers and fathers that are both working. They don't have time to read articles about education.
Mm-hmm.
And yet the school systems are letting them down.
The schools in Milwaukee, they weren't doing their part. I guess, like, the work that I was doing, it was easy. Like I would come home and I would study probably like for like 30 minutes. I would have no homework and I would be, passing with like GPAs like 3.6. So I was like, okay, but then when I moved here, I realized that the work that I was doing in Milwaukee, it wasn't really college bound.
So now you're getting ready for college.
Yeah.
Now you are college bound. Let's look at Chicago public schools, where 1 out of 100 students makes it to college. And out of that, less than 40% get past the first year.
1 out of 100.
1 out of 100. So those kids that are bringing home A's and parents are thinking everything is fine and cozy, Susie got an A, Susie must be able to write, are really not being told the truth. Supplemental education has become very important in this country because there's so much that needs to be changed in the area of education in every state.
Well, if everyone was able to get them a tutor like Rihanna, I think everyone would do
Well, thank you,
just
Daryl.
fine.
Thank you. Well, hey, thanks again, and thank you for joining us for another episode at A+ Master Tutoring Center.